And we're live. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Vroman, I'd like to welcome you all to our virtual event with author, illustrator Dan Santat. Before we begin, I do have a few guidelines for the audience. If you're considering supporting our bookstore by pre-ordering a book today, just click on the green button below. Anyone who pre-orders a copy of Little Fox and the Wild Imagination will get a signed book plate by Dan. And if you would like to ask a question for our author, just use the Ask a Question function at the very bottom of the screen. If you see a question that seems interesting and you want our author to answer, just vote for it and it'll make its way to the top of the list. And again, we'll be doing more virtual events in the near future, so you can learn more about them on our website calendar or by subscribing to our newsletter. And with that said, let me introduce our guest author for today. Dan Santat is a #1 New York Times bestselling author, illustrator of over 100 titles, which includes The Adventures of Pickle, the Unimaginary Friend, which won the prestigious Caldecott Medal in 2015. Other titles include Are We There Yet? And After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. And he is also the creator of the Disney animated hit, The Replacements. And with that said, I am going to turn the screen over to Dan, and he's going to have a presentation for you all. So enjoy.
Good evening, everyone. I say evening because time has no meaning in this world anymore, but we all know that. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I am here in my disastrous studio here in beautiful Pasadena, California, where I live and I work with my wife, 2 kids, and a menagerie of pets. Before I begin, I would like to give a shout out to some author friends of mine who had some books come out that I hope you will recognize. I know it's really hard to focus on anything, but I would like to give a shout out and perhaps consider supporting a local independent bookstore such as Vroman's. The first book we have here is When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson and Omar Muhammad. This is a beautiful, beautiful story. I highly recommend that one. For those of you who are Gene Yang fans, I'm a huge fan of Gene Yang. This book, Dragon Hoops, is fantastic. Funny story. There was a friend in college that I knew, and one day she just texted me this book, and I said, "Yeah, that's my friend Jean's book. It's not even out yet. What's up?" And she said, "My sister is the high school gym teacher in the school that he covers in this book, and Jean happened to have taught there." So small world, fantastic book. If you are a fan of basketball, or even if you don't even like basketball, this is a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. And here's a debut book called Chicken Little from this lovely young lady named Sam Wedlick from the Bronx. Highly recommend that. And so with that said, you know what? Why don't I just plug some of my other titles? It's been one of those years. I had The Little Engine That Could, that came out with a nice little foreword by Dolly Parton. If you go on YouTube, you can see Miss Parton reading the book. I got a little jazzed when she said my name. That was very exciting. I was supposed to go out to Dollywood, and I was supposed to do an event with her, but because of that, this whole thing got canceled, and I missed probably my only opportunity to miss Dolly Parton. So that's how 2020's been going. We have this one. It's by Min Lay, illustrated by me. Min and I, we collaborated on a book called Drawn Together. This is our follow-up. It's called Lift. I'm very proud of this one. And last but not least, I have a book coming out in the end of September, written by this wonderful author named Chris Harris. This one's called The Alphabet's Alphabet, so keep an eye out for that. But today, I'm going to talk to you about a new title that I have collaborated with this wonderful actor, director, comedian, former writer of Saturday Night Live, Mr. Jorma Taccone, also known as 1/3 of the member of the comedy troupe The Lonely Island, which features, Andy Samberg, The Lonely Island, three guys. They recently were producers on this Hulu movie, Palm Springs, which you haven't checked out. Is fantastic. Not the kids, but like the parents out there. Palm Springs is a fantastic movie. I have a presentation for you right now. I'm gonna read the book. I'm gonna show some behind the scenes. I'm gonna talk to you about what I've been doing this whole time. So I would like to get that started, and then afterwards I'll take some questions. Hopefully all this will brighten your day, and let's get started. All right. So, I don't know about you, but I've been baking bread before the pandemic happened. I ran the LA Marathon back in January, so I've been a big fan of baking bread. I was baking bread before it was cool. I just want to make that clear to all of you out there. This is a nice loaf of sourdough that I made. I think I got pretty good at making bread, but it's been going to my hips. So I've stopped making the bread. Also, as much as my family enjoys eating the bread, they don't eat very much of it. So I just end up eating this entire loaf myself, and I just get myself stuffed and filled with guilt. During the end of the school year, I was doing my kids' homework. Not really, but like I was helping them out. This was a head of a minotaur that we were supposed to make. The assignment was just to make, a minotaur mask. And, the artistic dad went a little overboard and said, hey, why don't we do this 3D cutout of a bull's head? And the assignment was to make a minotaur head and then take a picture of yourself wearing it. So here's a picture of my son wearing the minotaur head. I did the cutting. My son did the gluing. Actually, flip that. It was way back in March. He did the cutting. I did the gluing. So it was a 50-50 effort. Well, honestly, 70-30. I think I was a 70. My wife asked me to dye her hair. If there isn't a greater test on someone's marriage, it's to be asked to dye your wife's hair. And she just naturally said to me, hey, you're good at painting. Maybe you can dye my hair. And I thought, I don't think that's what it means, what you think it means, but I will do it. And luckily I did a good job. We're still married to this day. Her hairstylist now has just opened up a shop in his backyard in the open air. Everyone wears masks. So thankfully I only had to do it once. I built a ukulele out of cardboard. It works. I've been playing songs on it. In between the times I've been busy working on titles. Unlike most, I think a lot of people have been struggling getting to do work during this period, but I've actually been the opposite. I've been getting a tremendous amount of work done because it just keeps my mind off of all the things that are going on in the world. But this is a very proud accomplishment of mine. I don't play it as much as I should, but I think I'm just really excited at the fact that I created something that I can look back at and I can say I built that during a pandemic. I have been taking video conferences with my parents, which is adorable. Here's a video conference that I had with my mother. And the really adorable thing about it is that half the time she doesn't know where to look into the camera. So I'm often looking at the walls or the ceiling, or just a corner sliver of her face. I haven't seen them since March. This is the closest I will get to seeing them until things blow over because they have conditions. But yeah, a lot of video conferencing. Even right now, I'm video conferencing with all of you out there in the world. And really, I'm just speaking into a black screen. And I don't know if any of you are laughing, if any of you are just having a good time on the other side. I'm just speaking into a void. And there's something really weird about that right now, folks. I'll be honest with you. I hope you are. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're well. I learned a new song on piano. Just thought I'd share that. And now we have this book that I've been waiting eagerly since last November. We had this book done in November. We had, oh my gosh, we had all these great plans for it. We were going to have a huge event in New York. We were going to have a huge event in LA. Jorma knew like all these celebrities, like, you know, he's going to have all these celebrities like Maya Rudolph and Andy Samberg come and do presentations. And guess what? That all fell apart. So now we're doing it virtually, and you're stuck here with me, and I hope I can do the job. So I'm gonna read this book to you. It's a really fun one. It's called Little Fox and the Wild Imagination, written by Jorma Taccone, art by me. Let's begin. Little Fox and the Wild Imagination, written by Jorma Taccone, art by Dan Santat. When Papa Fox showed up after school, he was surprised to find Little Fox in a bad mood. "Hey, kiddo, how was school?" asked Papa Fox. Said Little Fox. "I fell off the slide today and a big kid laughed at me," said Little Fox. "I don't want to go to school ever again." That's rough," Papa Fox said as he tried to think of something to cheer up Little Fox. "Hey, how about we play pretend?" Papa Fox asked. Said Little Fox again. "You're right, no pretending," said Papa Fox as he took off running. "And let's definitely not transform into race cars. Wait for me." "I win." "Oof, yeah." "You feeling better now?" asked Papa Fox. "A little bit." "Just a little," said Papa Fox. "That's too bad." "You know what's also too bad? Dinosaurs don't fit in buses! Rah! Rah!" As they got off the bus, Little Fox spotted their next adventure. "Papa, can we get a special treat?" "Roger that, partner. Let's set coordinates for Planet Ice Cream." Yay! "I feel great now, Papa." "Mission accomplished, Houston. We have one happy kid, and we're headed home to make dinner." Things were going great, but at dinner, their game of pretend took a turn. "Ooh, you should pretend you're a giant and eat this whole broccoli forest," said Papa Fox. "Wouldn't that be funny?" "No," said Little Fox. "Let's pretend I'm a robot squid who bashes trees with my tentacles." Suddenly, Papa Fox regretted their trip to Planet Ice Cream. "Robot squid activated. Destroy all trees." "Okay, stop pretending. We're making a mess. Bath time. It's bath time." Once they were in the bath, Papa Fox made another big mistake. "Time to wash hair, kiddo." "No," said Little Fox. "We did hair last night. More pretending, you scurvy bad guy." No, wait, said Papa Fox. But it was too late. "Now I will put you in a mail truck and throw you in the ocean, and a shark will eat you all gone." "What? Why?" After wiping up the bathwater, Papa Fox noticed Little Fox had disappeared. "Hey, kiddo, where did you go?" "Daddy, I'm here." Where are you?" "Ow!" "Don't worry. This magic wand will keep us safe in the dark." "Oh, good. Will it also make you sleepy?" asked Papa Fox. "No," whispered Little Fox. "We have to read these books first." All 5,000 of them? Yes. At last it was bedtime. Papa, can you pick me up from school again tomorrow? Asked Little Fox. Sure, said Papa Fox. You got it, kiddo. Good, because tomorrow I will blast you off in a rocket and explode you into the sun, you scurvy bad guy. I love you too, said Papa Fox. The end. Now here's the jacket case cover for the book. Here's the front of the book on the right side, and then you have the back of the book on the left. And then if you open it up, it makes one big giant spread of all the antics that they went on. Here's our author photo. Here's me depicted as a pirate. I just thought it would be nice to depict ourselves using our imaginations. I thought it was a little clever joke to have an eye patch while wearing reading glasses. A little funny. Here's Mr. Taccone wearing an astronaut outfit similar to the one that they wore in the book. He may look familiar if you're wondering how close and accurate I got to his caricature. Here's a picture of Mr. Jorma Taccone. He may look familiar to you. As I said before, he is 1/3 of the comedy troupe, The Lonely Island. And I think you may have seen some familiar faces. I don't know if you have some small children out there in the audience, but my kids were huge fans of the movie Hot Rod, which has turned into like the sleepover birthday party movie that most kids like to watch. I think my kids have gone to like 3 or 4 sleepovers, and they've seen this movie about 3 or 4 times. So you're probably wondering, how did I get to work with a celebrity actor like Mr. Jorma Taccone? Well, it turns out that years ago, back when I was starting out in children's publishing, I had actually worked with his mother, who lived up in Oakland, California, for this company called Kingdom Press. She was an art director who contacted me and asked me to work on these little frame photos where you can put your kid's face and these little silhouettes of your kids being, you know, these cool things like rock stars or weightlifters. And then I guess one day Jorma was interested in working on a book, and he asked his mom, who could I talk to about writing a picture book? And my name came up. And Mr. Taccone sent me a random email one day, just out of the blue. And I said, I know this person because I have seen Hot Rod 3 or 4 times. And this was the last email from a person that I thought I would ever receive. But I did. I took the call. I took the email. I said, sure, give me a call. 5 minutes after sending the email, I get a phone call from Mr. Taccone. And he said, I was thinking of writing a story. I was wondering if you could help me out and take a look at it when you have a chance. And I said, I would be glad to. And so 10 minutes after I got off the phone, he sent me his first draft. And then we went back and forth, just tweaking the draft for about a month and a half. And then it was sent to my agent, and then my agent sent it to my editor. And then that's how we got working together. And so the main story involves a cute little fox. I love foxes. I live in Los Angeles, so we don't see many foxes around here, unfortunately. So I go on YouTube and I see these cute videos of people like, I don't know, it's weird. Some people play with foxes. Some people, it looks like they have pet foxes. I don't know who these people are who have all these amazing pets. Like, you're watching this video and it's like, oh, I have a pet owl. Like, I don't even know where to begin to go buy an owl. And I don't know where to begin to get a fox, but foxes seem really sweet. And I have drawn foxes in the past. Here's some foxes that I've drawn. The one on the left was a design that I did doing some character design for a children's television show. The one on the right was just my own little interpretation of Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is a fantastic film, probably one of my favorites. But I needed to create something that was a little bit more, felt a little bit more family oriented, felt like, you know, a father and son, something a little bit more relatable. So when Jorma wrote the manuscript, this was actually the first sketch that I showed him and gave to my editor when she went to go show it to my editor. Just wanted to give them an idea of how I viewed things, and it was pretty close to this how this was depicted. Yeah, I mean, I whipped this up in about 15-20 minutes. I tend to work pretty fast, and I work digitally. I work on a computer. But I also use a lot of mixed media. So you'll see some color pencil in there. You'll see some watercolor. But for the most part, when I work, I would say 70% of the work, or I would say 60% of the work is digital. 40% is traditional, with traditional media on paper. And this is what you see here, the end product. If you get the book, you know, here's one of the last pages in the back that featured the dedication. I'm also a very imaginative person, which is something that I think helps me qualify to doing a job like this. I think having a wide imagination gives you the ability to work on various projects, and you're allowed to see the world in a different way. I like to embody myself into the characters, to feel what they're feeling, to understand what they're thinking. And I think, you know, I think I have a pretty good. I think for the years I've been in this business, I have a pretty good imagination. I'll give you an example here. I'm so imaginative because of coronavirus, because I can't go out anywhere and I can't do any shopping. I thought it'd be a wise idea to scan a version of myself into the computer. And now with that computer, I can take a Crate and Barrel catalog, and I can put myself in that Crate and Barrel catalog. And so now I'm enjoying this nice barbecue with this fine young millennial who's probably grilling quinoa burgers because he's living in Southern California, and that's all we eat here. We just eat quinoa. And I get to go have a barbecue with some friends, guilt-free. You know, my wife and I, my wife, she really wants to. She's looking for a new dining set, and you know, all the stores are closed, so we can't go anywhere. I don't have time to go out in my Prius, because that's all we drive around here. We just drive around in Priuses. I don't have time to get in my car, and the Crate and Barrel's not open, but, you know, thankfully with the catalog and scanned version of myself, I can go check it out in the catalog. That's the beauty of having a wonderful imagination, folks. I needed some extra hands. I've been getting a lot of work done, surprisingly. And, you know, not a lot of people can come over. It's just been me, my wife, and kids, which, quite frankly, has been driving me a little insane. But it would be nice to have an assistant help me out in some of the work that I've done. So I took that scan of myself and I printed myself out. Unfortunately, my printer's not very big. It only prints 8.5 by 11. So I cut the picture of myself out, and now have a tiny assistant. I just a tiny little 8.5 by 11 assistant. But he's great, you know, he still gets a lot done. We go outside, we play catch. It's nice to go outside and get some exercise. That's the beauty, that's the brilliance of being so imaginative and having all this creativity at your disposal. You can build cardboard ukuleles or 12-inch tall versions of yourself to play catch. Deleted scenes from Little Fox. So we had a lot of ideas. Mr. Taccone, he came with me with a lot of little ideas. You know, originally, I think what a lot of people who love picture books don't understand is that there is a format. Typically, the format of a picture book is anywhere from 32 to 40 pages, generally more on the 32 side. Jorma gave me a whole bevy of things to work from, and you know, originally I was trying to fit it into 40 pages, but it felt very tight, very constricted. And so not everything could make it into the book. So we had to take out some things. Thought I'd share with you some of those things. One of the things that I missed that would have been fun is they run through the supermarket and they turn into construction vehicles. They're running through the aisles, just getting groceries, and they're just picking things out. And instead, in lieu of them going to Planet Ice Cream, originally they just go to the frozen section, and little Fox was going to grab up all the little frozen ice cream cones and then put it in the dump truck, which is his father. So, you know, I really like this sketch. I thought it was a cute sketch of them as construction vehicles. Another scene is when they're coming back from the grocery store. I guess little Fox sneezes and he has a little bit of a sniffle, and he turns into this snot monster. This little, they call him a slime monster, but he really is just, you know, a giant mountain of boogers. And he grabs his dad, who's just trying to carry the groceries home and open the front door so that they can get home. That would have been a lot of fun. And it gets to the point. It gets to the point where little Fox is just so imaginative, just coming up with so many ideas that, you know, he's just throwing basically everything in his father's way. He turns his dad into a pumpkin, and it's doused in applesauce, and ants are all over it, just eating the applesauce off the pumpkin face. And the dad just gets a little exhausted. And you know, when we all kind of stood back and looked back, we said, "Oh, there's a little too much. This one can go." But you know, these are some of the drawings that I did, and you know, it'd just be a waste not to share them with all of you. Also, if you want, keep an eye out on social media for Macmillan Children's Publishing. If you are interested, I do believe that they are doing a campaign where if you do pre-order the book, you can get this free little Fox poster. If you are a librarian or a teacher out there that thinks it might be a nice little decoration to have in the walls of your classroom or library, you might want to keep your eye open for the Macmillan Children's Publishing feed, just to see the opportunities you can to get this poster. I signed about 1,500 of them, and I just sent the box out yesterday to Jorma to have them signed by him. So these posters will be signed by both of us. And so that concludes the virtual keynote presentation, and I am back to answer some of your questions. Let's see here. First question comes from Charlie. Hello, Charlie, age 6.5, would like to know, one of my favorite books is The Cookie Fiasco. What is yours? What is my favorite book? So I will give you two answers. When I was a little kid, one of my favorite books was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, because I loved the idea that food could rain from the sky, because I was a big eater, still am. If I could, I would live on an island of fried chicken. That was one of my favorite things. I'm also probably one of the few people on this planet that loves the McRib. I do like the McRib. So Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was a personal favorite of mine. When I got older, I became a huge Encyclopedia Brown fan. I loved reading those books written by Donald J. Sobol. Donald J. Sobol is just a fantastic name just to say. Like, I would just love, if I was a private detective, I would just change my name to Detective Sobol. Or if I checked into a hotel under an alias, I'd say Donald J. Sobol checking in for 2. I don't know, but Encyclopedia Brown. If I don't know if many libraries are. I don't know if kids are still reading them these days. But it was great because this kid, his name was I forget his first name, but they called him Encyclopedia Brown because he had so much knowledge that he was like an encyclopedia, and he solved all these crimes all over town. And each book had like maybe, I don't know, like 6 or 7 little mysteries. And I remember as a kid sitting there thinking, oh gosh, I think I can figure this one out. And then I would sit there for a while, and I wouldn't turn to the last page for the ending because I just wanted to figure it out on my own. I never got it. I was never as smart. as Encyclopedia Brown. I was more like, I was Cliff Notes Dan. I got the gist. And then when I finally read the ending, I was like, I was going to say that. Yeah, of course. One of the ones that, here's one thing that I'll never forget from Encyclopedia Brown. There was one case where someone stole some silverware from an antique shop, and the man who owned the antique shop said he saw the criminal's face because when he held up this spoon, he could see the reflection of the man's face in the spoon, and he could describe the man. And Encyclopedia Brown stopped and he said, that's not true, because when you look inside the face of a spoon, the reflection is actually upside down, so you wouldn't actually know. And from this day on, every time I look at a spoon, I look inside the spoon to see my own reflection upside down. And I'm like, oh, that Encyclopedia Brown, he's smart. So yeah. So for current titles, one of my favorites. I'm gonna go to my bookshelf right now. Oh, actually, I'm gonna grab two. So this one. This book, This Was Our Pack by Ryan Andrews, fantastic book. I love this book. Mr. Andrews, he lives out in Japan. I guess he spent years working on this book. Fantastic story. Really love that one. This is another one. This is from my friend Vera Brosgol. She also did this wonderful book called Anya's Ghost. This one is about her time spending a summer at a Russian summer camp. Russian Orthodox summer camp. It's called Be Prepared. Another fantastic book. So those are some titles. So there you go, Charlie, age 6.5. Hope that answered your question. Question 2. Hi, Dan. Joshua, I am 9. Hello, 9-year-old Joshua. How many books have you illustrated? Fantastic question. It's getting a little fuzzy as to the exact number. So I have a friend named Lei Wen Pham, who is basically like a female version of me because we're both workaholics. Now I illustrate a lot of books. Win actually illustrated more than I have. And last time we were doing a panel together, this was maybe a week and a half ago, she had calculated that she had done about, she said she's somewhere around 130. And so I'm thinking, just by off that number, I think I'm somewhere around the ballpark of 115 or 120. And I've been doing this for a long time. My first book came out in 2004. So yeah, I've been doing this for about 16, 17 years. And the most number of books I've done in 1 year, I think it was like 13 or 14. I think I did 13 or 14 books in 1 year, and that was insane. And then there were years I was working with Dave Pilkey doing Ricky Ricotta's Mighty Robot, and some of those books were turned around quickly. I had to do some of those in 3 or 4 months, so that was a lot. So yeah, so you know, Joshua, I don't have a solid number for you, but it's somewhere around 110, 115. That's what I'm thinking. Might be more. You know, this year I have 4 or 5 books that came out. Next year I have about another 4 or 5 books coming out. One is I have a graphic novel coming out called The Aquanaut. I'm currently working on a memoir about a 3-week trip that I took in Europe when I was 13 years old, and snuck into Wimbledon. I snuck into the men's semifinal of Wimbledon in 1989 and watched John McEnroe and Stefan Edberg play for £3. So that's a fun story. All right. Hi, Dan. My name is Madeline, and I'm 6.5. Hello, Madeline. 6.5. I'd like to know how to draw a little fox and have her be a little girl fox. And I love The Adventures of Pickle, and I read it, look at the colorful pictures often. Well, thank you, Madeline. Let's see here. I could possibly fire up. Tell you what, let me grab a piece of paper. Let's grab a piece of paper, because foxes are a lot of fun. A lot of triangles when you draw a fox. grab a piece of paper. I'm just folding this piece of paper in half because it could soak through the paper and get my table all messy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start with a blue pencil. This is what I use when I want to lay in drawings, but I don't want to commit to a line. So I can sketch a little bit. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to sketch this out, and I'm going to give you a basic idea of a step-by-step process of how I do this. So when you talk about drawing a character, you want to break them up into shapes. And basically, you can draw anything you want using 3 basic shapes. I'll show you. So you have so you have 3 basic shapes. You have a circle, which would be good to make eyes. You have a triangle, which would be good to make the fox's ears. And then you have a square. That'd be good to just block out basic shapes. So let me give you an idea of what I mean. So I will start by drawing this square here. So this will be the fox's like the fox's face. Okay. Now if I add 2 circles on there, now I've made 2 eyes on that face. Okay. Now I'm going to add 2 triangles on the top. See, now I've made pointy ears for the fox. I'm going to draw another set of triangles inside. Okay, now we've added some definition to the fox's ears. Now we're going to add the fox's nose. Okay, so we have the fox's nose like this. And he has a round nose, so we're going to add a circle to the end. Okay, and then they have the hair on the sides, the whiskers, or I don't know what you want to call them, but those are also roughly just 2 triangles on each side. Okay, and then I'm going to add some volume here. I'm going to add a neck. And then a mouth. I'm just going to give him a simple smile. Okay. So now we have the shape of the fox, and then when you're talking about the coloring, it's beige around the neck here, and then red on the top. Okay, and then I'm also going to give him some pupils. See, so that's a quick drawing of Papa Fox right there. And I hope that answers your question. As a kid, a lot of the lessons that I did from drawing came from copying pictures of things that I liked. And that didn't mean taking a piece of paper and tracing. It meant looking at a picture of something like Garfield and then trying to copy that picture of Garfield as closely and as accurately as possible. And really drawing, a lot of the basics of drawing is really about how you see things. And so a lot of it is proportion. So for example, here's a little fact. When you're drawing the human body, what a lot of people know from studies of Leonardo da Vinci and the study of the ideal form is that the human body is 7 heads high. Okay, now I don't know if that's something that you would know if you didn't go to art school or study, but it's just one of those little facts about proportion that you understand that makes things feel right. So if you draw Garfield and you want to proportion the head to the body, to the size of the eyes, the only thing that's keeping you from making Garfield look just like Garfield is a matter of proportion. Are the eyes the right size? Is the head the right size? Is everything lined up? And those are like the little details. So when you keep drawing Garfield over and over and over again, you tend to get so familiar with the character that you eventually know how to draw him without having to look at him. And I've said this a lot of times. There's a lot of people that say, well, I can't even draw a stick figure. But the truth is, I've seen people that had absolutely no ability to draw, but if they just spent 2 years just dedicated to drawing, they managed to figure it, like they become amazing artists. It's like riding a bicycle. And so the more you draw, the better you get. And I've noticed that somewhere, I would have to say somewhere around, I want to say it's like somewhere around second grade or third grade when I was a kid, there was just a point in life where kids just said, I'm not good at drawing. I don't want to draw anymore. Whereas I've been drawing because it was something that I just excelled at. And that, when I went to school, kids kind of looked at it as like a magic power. They looked at my ability to draw and they were just like, oh my gosh, he drew a puppy. He saw, it was like magic. And, like that was how I made friends. So, if you are so inclined to being an artist, I say, keep it up, keep up a good work. And, I'm confident that someday you'll be able to be a successful artist. All right, from Susan Miller, what is Little Fox's favorite food? I could be accurate, or I could just make something up. I'm going to say chutney, pineapple chutney. If I was a fox, it would be fried chicken or a cup of coffee. Or I just got, and this is really creepy. So there's this snack that's been sweeping the nation. These Takis. You probably seen these on playgrounds. These Takis are just like rolled up corn chips that are just, they're seasoned with so much salt. Like, you can feel the moisture just leave your tongue. I just got these color changing Takis, and if you eat it, like the moisture changes the colors of them. I don't know why, but I'm gonna try that today. And if I was a fox, I'd have to throw guacamole Takis on that list. I also, I also like a nice bagel with lox. But this little fox, clearly, broccoli wasn't one of his favorite things. I love broccoli. I can eat raw broccoli. I can eat a whole bag of raw broccoli. I love broccoli. So hopefully that answers. If you could be any animal, what would you be? What would you be? This makes me think of Napoleon Dynamite about being a liger. But if you could be any animal, what would you be? That's such a good question. And I usually have an answer for all these. Gosh, you know what? I mean, cats seem to have it good. If you're like, I have 3 dogs, I have 2 cats and a bird. And then our neighbors, they have a cat who just like, he'll just come to our front window and he'll just hang out and just stare into our bedroom. Just, I'm here. You can't do anything about it. And our dogs go nuts. They're like, there's a cat there. There's a cat there. And the cat's just like, I know. What are you going to do about it? And there's something really awesome about that. There's something really awesome about being the neighbor's cat that says, you know what? I'm going to go over there. I'm going to torment those dogs over at that house. And then maybe I'm going to go over to that house and I'll just hang out in the shade over in that person's yard. Maybe, I don't know, just hang out and, eat some of their cat's food. There's just that freedom of living in a neighborhood and just kind of saying like, you know what, this really is all mine. I am a cat. I can do it. Who's going to stop me? So yeah, I do. I like cats. Hi, this is Riker. Mom is typing for me. I'm a big fan. I received the Pickle Magic Wheelchair. Oh, hello. Okay. And a package of books. Thank you. If you could retell and illustrate a fairy tale, which one would it be? Oh boy, if I could retell. First of all, Riker, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for sharing those lovely photos of your Pickle whale chariot. That was very touching. I was very touched. That was wonderful. Any of you out there who are curious, I think you can find it on Instagram and maybe Facebook. I believe it was some kind of like a foundation that helped make his dreams come true, and he wanted a Pickle wheelchair. It was just fantastic. It was outstanding. It was very touching. But back to your question, if I could retell and illustrate any fairy tale, what would it be? Well, I would love to re-illustrate Encyclopedia Brown covers. That would be a lot of fun. But if we're talking about, you know what? I kind of would like to do Willy Wonka. I think that would be fun. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That'd be fun. Something by Roald Dahl, of course. That would be a lot of fun. Let's see. What else? What would be a fun one? Gosh, yeah, those two really stand out in my mind. I remember when I was in art school, I did my own interpretation of Where the Wild Things Are, and that didn't go out too well. I think maybe you shouldn't be punching above your weight. You know, Murray Sendak just knocked that one out of the park. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the classics, maybe I'd tackle Watership Down. That would be a fun one, maybe. Fun. I don't know if fun would be the word, but yeah, I think those would be my answers. All right, let's see. How many stories have you written? Let's see. Let's go through the list. The Guild of Geniuses, Pickle, Are We There Yet? After the Fall, Sidekicks, The Cookie Fiasco, Harold and Hog, Pretend for Real. I'm currently finishing up my graphic novel, The Aquanaut. I'm working on my memoir. And then I've done some short stories. I don't know if we can count those. So I'm closing in on about 10. And it's funny because I was thinking about that, where I've spent a lot of my life illustrating other people's projects, and as a result, I tend to push my own projects aside, which is kind of the reason why I don't have many titles under my belt, and that's something that I've kind of decided that I wanted to rectify, and so I've been taking a lot more time working on my own titles. Hopefully you'll see more titles from me in the future, because folks, I turned 45 this year. I'm kind of getting to this point where I'm thinking, you know what, I have some stories to tell, and I feel like I just kept shoving my own stuff aside for so long. But yeah, so for now, 10. Hopefully I can double that in the next 10 years. Let's see, a question from Charlie. Do you have a favorite character? Favorite character. You know what? This is going to be really weird. This is going to be a weird answer. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern from Hamlet. Just these two characters that are just their job is to spy. The job is to. Is it Hamlet or Macbeth? I'm brain farting right now. Anyway, there's these two guys. They basically are just keeping an eye. They keep an eye on him, and they're just trying to make sure that he's crazy. Hamlet. No, Hamlet is the one like Lion King. So is it Macbeth then? Is it? Oh gosh, I'm so bad. Anyway, yeah, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And so they did this great movie called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, where they tell that story, but from Rosencrantz and Guildenstern's point of view. And I think there was just something about that I found really fascinating and intriguing. Let's see. Charlie wonders, what would the fox eat for breakfast? Raisin Bran Crunch. Pop-Tarts. You ever have, like, I don't know if you've noticed, Pop-Tarts have been coming up with some really crazy flavors. I had, just out of morbid curiosity, because I'm that kind of guy where I'm just like, that sounds disgusting. Let's try it. Because Pop-Tarts have been coming up with these absurd flavors, like A&W Root Beer Pop-Tarts or Orange Crutch Pop-Tarts. And of course I said, yeah, why not? And I remember just opening up that foil package and I ate it and I said, that's disgusting, but I'm glad I participated in that at least once. But, you know, I would like to think that little fox is similar to me in nature, and that he would try everything at least once. And, you know, he seems like he's a big junk food kind of kid, so I'm sure he would eat all kinds of weird things. You know, it's something, you know, something that I tried this year that I read a whole article on and I didn't even know existed, was butter pickle sandwiches. So, you know, you've gone to the store, you've seen jars of butter pickles, but I don't think anybody understood the where the name came from. And so I guess back in the Depression era, people would make sandwiches out of butter and pickles and bread, and they would just eat those as sandwiches. And I said, okay, that sounds weird. I'll try it once. And I did. And oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's delicious. I would recommend that all of you try it at least once. Butter pickle sandwiches. It looks weird. And then once you sink your teeth into it, you would kick a bag of puppies for more. Like they're amazing. Riker, do I have a favorite color? My favorite color is pink. Well, Riker, this one I actually have a clear answer. My favorite color is, I mean, that's a technical name when you go to an art store, an art supply store. It is this tube of oil paint known as Indian yellow. And the best way to describe Indian yellow, it's like an orangey yellow. I would say it's closer to something like that. It's something like this. And so it's just such a beautiful color. Now, if you go through the list of books that I've worked on, you will notice that the trend of the colors on my book covers tends to be Indian yellow. Like there's a lot of orangey yellow book covers in my career. One little interesting fact about the color Indian yellow is that they actually have to take urine from a yak to make it. So they yes, they take a giant vat of yak urine and they pour it into the vat and then they mix it all together. And that's how they make Indian yellow. But you know, despite the means that they have to make the stuff, I will keep buying it. I mean, I will wash my hands thoroughly afterwards, but that is my favorite color, hands down. Second color, that is a close second, cobalt blue. Something beautiful, like you go to like, well, Pier 1 Imports isn't around anymore, but there was a time when you could buy these beautiful like cobalt blue glasses. Oh, they were beautiful. Like I would just stare at them and they just pour fluids into a cobalt blue glass. Cobalt blue, oh, you shine that, hold that up into the light. Oh, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. So Indian yellow, cobalt blue.
All right, we have one last question, and I think that will be a good place to end our stream.
All right. What is my favorite animal? What is my favorite animal? Like I said, I am a big fan of cats. I do like dogs. But if you're gonna escape that, if we're gonna like go outside and like look at other animals, bears. Bears are kind of cool. You know, there's just this. I'm illustrating a book right now that features a bear, and you know, you do some research about them, and it's crazy because, you know, like you'll hear those stories about people that go into like the enclosure of a polar bear to come touch it, and then things just like, yeah, you know, like you're not supposed to be in here. I get it because I'll look inside and I'll see like that bear looks pretty awesome. I kind of want to hang out with it, but you know, there's just something really crazy about, you know, being an animal that says, you know what, I'm just gonna stuff myself silly with food and I'm gonna sleep until all this snow melts. And that's when I heard about this thing. Oh gosh, I forgot what it was called. It was like called some like, it was like a, I might be telling you too much, but this is nature, folks. So bears have this thing where they eat so much food and then their body generates a thing called like a poop plug or something like that. And so basically the body creates a big giant poop in their butt so that when they're hibernating, the poop doesn't fall out because this poop is just so big. And then they wake up and their bodies are all thin because it's just been feeding on the fat. And then somewhere in this forest, some poor deer, some poor rabbit or something is going to come across this giant poop plug that's the first thing that comes out of their body after they hibernate. And it's like, what animal is this? It's like, oh my gosh, it's like years of months and months of food all just collected into this big pile that this bear took so he wouldn't poop while he was sleeping. Anyway, I just thought it was fascinating to me. Bears are cool.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much for sharing those details about bears.
I'm going to start a YouTube channel with a nature show.
Well, thank you, Dan, for taking the time to share your book with the world. And
thank you, everyone.
Thank you to everyone who asked such great questions. It was such a fun talk. And again, if you would like to pre-order a copy of Little Fox and Wild Imagination, just click on the green button below, and we'll be giving away signed book plates by Dan. And our next virtual event is scheduled for Monday, August 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And the authors will be talking about union, a Democrat, a Republican, and a search for common ground. And again, thank you so much to everyone who are supporting independent bookstores. You guys are like the lifeline of indie bookstores. Thank you so much again for taking the time Saturday morning to tune in. And stay safe, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Stay safe. Have a great day.